I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time. And
Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume.
In a recent live interview, Terence Crawford spoke openly about Floyd Mayweather and his own standing in the sport. He confidently said that Floyd's chapter in boxing is already closed and made it known that the spotlight belongs to him now. Crawford pointed out that Mayweather's dominance is over and all attention should shift toward him as the leading name of this era. Speaking with full assurance, he presented himself as the one pushing boxing forward for the current generation.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather pointed out to fans that he had already outclassed Canelo Alvarez when he himself was the older fighter, a reminder of his superior skill and experience. He suggested that Terence Crawford defeating Canelo shouldn't be viewed as some monumental achievement, since both of their biggest wins came against the same man. To Floyd, this only reinforces that his victory was the more impressive one, and that Crawford's success doesn't elevate him past Mayweather's legacy.
Canelo is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No, I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36, and we fight. And now what y'all gonna say? Well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights.
Some experts believe Terence Crawford still can't be placed alongside Floyd Mayweather because he doesn't have the spotless 50-0 record that Floyd proudly carries. In their view, for Crawford to truly surpass Mayweather's legacy, he must accomplish more than just beating top names like Canelo Alvarez. Many analysts repeat the idea that Crawford needs to jump up in weight and face David Benavidez, a dangerous and physically overwhelming fighter. Defeating Benavidez would not only show Crawford's willingness to take huge risks, but also prove he can overcome a man many see as one of the toughest challenges in the sport today. Without a win like that, these critics argue Crawford will never be judged on the same level as Mayweather, regardless of everything he has already accomplished.
You look at Floyd's record, right? Floyd's legacy is 50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger a greener Canelo when Floyd beat him. Bud beat an older, slower, but more seasoned Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people are scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Duran from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5, top 7.
Trainer Robert Garcia sees things differently. He feels Terence Crawford is not likely to gamble his legacy by stepping in with David Benavidez. In Garcia's view, Crawford is a smart fighter who understands how to protect his historical standing without walking into unnecessary danger. Benavidez holds a major size advantage and brings a level of threat that could seriously jeopardize Crawford's undefeated record. To Garcia, the risk simply isn't worth it, especially since Crawford already has an outstanding resume and doesn't need to prove anything by facing someone far above his natural weight class. His opinion reflects the ongoing debate between chasing legacy-defining challenges and preserving an almost spotless career.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, offered his take by saying that even though Terence Crawford clearly outclassed Canelo Alvarez, it shouldn't be treated as the ultimate benchmark. He stressed that Canelo wasn't the same fighter he once was, pointing out that Alvarez no longer delivered punches with the sharpness or force he used to. Jeff noted that before this matchup, many doubted Crawford and questioned the quality of his opponents. And even after beating Canelo, there are still people who minimize what he did. In Jeff's view, the win was impressive but needs to be seen in proper context. Since Canelo wasn't at his absolute peak, the victory doesn't automatically place Crawford beyond all criticism.
You know, Canelo knocks him out in the first half of the fight because he couldn't handle the power. And obviously that proved not to be, or to be the case, that Crawford could definitely handle the power. Were you surprised that, you know, it didn't look like, you know, maybe once or twice it looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never in any kind of real trouble?
Yeah, I don't think that Canelo really hit him. I mean, he hit him a couple times clean, but I mean, Crawford, you know, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. You know, I mean, and he hit Canelo a few times. I mean, and you know, and Canelo took it as well. So I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I mean, they both took, you know, decent shots from each other, but Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was, a case of, you know, you can't, you know, Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations. Like he's, you know, more of a, you know, punch at a time kind of guy, you know, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot, trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times was saying, you know, I guess he would say to himself, you know, I need to, you know, do a little more work, and basically, and it seemed like he just did that, and he would let his hands go.
Legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr. offered a pointed critique of Floyd Mayweather's legacy. He argued that, with the exception of facing Canelo Alvarez, Floyd did not consistently take on the very best fighters of his era when they were at their peak. Jones questioned how Mayweather is frequently labeled the greatest when many of the names on his resume were opponents who were smaller, older, or no longer in their prime. He suggested that the legend status attached to Mayweather is somewhat inflated compared to what he actually proved in the ring. According to Roy Jones Jr., while Floyd's undefeated record is remarkable, the level of opposition and the strategic timing of many of his bouts leave room for debate, especially when comparing him to more versatile fighters like Terence Crawford.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10.
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5. He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight. Don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand. I know you're a Floyd fan. But here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
he fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And is Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in the boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great. All right, so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao, you waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them biggest, best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because
would
I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was obviously equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
A separate analyst pointed out the clear distinction between popularity and pure skill. He acknowledged that Floyd Mayweather's global fan base is unmatched, built through his undefeated record and extraordinary pay-per-view success. However, when judging talent alone, he suggested that Terence Crawford may actually surpass Floyd. Crawford's natural southpaw abilities, combined with his rare talent for seamlessly switching stances mid-fight, allow him to adjust to any opponent with ease. This level of adaptability and versatility has led many to argue that Crawford possesses technical skills even sharper than Mayweather's. The discussion raises a broader question within boxing: should greatness be defined by global fame and commercial success, or by raw skill and in-ring adaptability?
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ, and not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far, and I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Former world champion Shane Mosley offered a clear and direct comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. He emphasized that Crawford's natural size gives him an advantage that Mayweather never possessed. As a naturally bigger fighter, Crawford can move through multiple weight divisions while still carrying his power and physical strength. Mosley pointed out that while Floyd excelled in defense, timing, and ring IQ, Crawford's physical attributes allow him to dominate opponents in ways Mayweather could not. For Mosley, this makes a direct comparison between the two somewhat unfair, as Crawford's natural frame and build provide opportunities and advantages that Floyd never had.
Think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Jeff Mayweather also reminded boxing fans that when Floyd faced Canelo Alvarez, he was already past his prime years. Despite being older, slower, and no longer as sharp as his younger self, Floyd completely schooled Canelo through sheer experience, elite defense, and superior ring IQ. This, according to Jeff, highlights a key difference in how each fighter earned their victory over Alvarez. While Crawford beat a more seasoned and mature version of Canelo, Floyd did it at a time when he himself was no longer at his physical peak, which makes his accomplishment stand out even more. For Jeff, that context proves that Floyd's greatness remains unmatched, even as Crawford continues to build an impressive resume.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So.
Yeah. What was Canelo? What? 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, sure, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But don't you?
Want to make himself look like he did something.
Crawford himself has addressed the constant comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. He openly acknowledges everything Floyd accomplished and respects that his legacy is cemented in boxing history. However, Crawford has also made it clear that Mayweather belonged to his era, and every era eventually comes to an end. He explained that greatness is not meant to last forever, a new generation will always rise and take the spotlight. By saying this, Crawford positions himself as the fighter of today, the current face of boxing. He honors Floyd's achievements while confidently claiming his place as the leading figure in the modern era.
I have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Trainer Greg Hackett had high praise for Terence Crawford following his victory over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a win that firmly elevated Crawford's legacy above Canelo's. But Hackett was quick to draw a line. Crawford's achievement does not place him above Floyd Mayweather. He emphasized that while the Canelo win is a career-defining moment, it doesn't overshadow the decades of dominance Floyd produced. In Hackett's view, Crawford deserves full credit for such a commanding performance, but any comparisons to Mayweather must be made with caution, as Floyd's overall resume remains far deeper and more proven.
Because you gotta remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Damn, like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, and then you be the wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense. But that's
really
what.
A monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Your line of suits get your money, man. Yeah, go ahead and get the easy money. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up,
Not
boy?
saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat.
What's happening?
He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you can get fucked up. I'm telling you, you don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get.
Former champion Sean Porter discussed the significance of Terence Crawford's win over Canelo on his podcast, highlighting just how extraordinary the performance was. He noted that Crawford didn't just rise to the challenge, he dismantled Canelo in a way almost no one anticipated. Porter explained that this fight demonstrated Crawford's ability to carry his skill set across multiple weight classes while adapting to any opponent's style. In his view, Crawford showcased elite-level adaptability, technical precision, and mental toughness at the very peak of the sport.
For Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Perhaps the most historic accomplishment that sets Terence Crawford apart from nearly every fighter in boxing history is his unprecedented achievement of becoming the first boxer to become undisputed champion in 3 separate weight divisions. This milestone showcases not only his extraordinary versatility, but also the longevity and consistency he has maintained throughout different stages of his career. Very few fighters have ever demonstrated the ability to dominate so convincingly across multiple divisions. With this achievement alone, Crawford has secured his place in boxing's history books, ensuring that, regardless of comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, his legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats is already firmly established.
Terence Bud Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller men beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well deserved for Terence Crawford. It's gonna look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence Bud Crawford.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned.